Hello friends and welcome to Harmony at Home. I am your teacher, Miss Ella, and I'm so excited to explore the world of music with you this year. We will discover the fascinating history of music, hear lots of different musical instruments, sing songs from different countries, learn how music is written and performed, and in almost every lesson we will have special guests who will share with us their own musical stories. In fact, we have some guests joining us today on our very first day together, and I can't wait to introduce you to them. I hope you will join me every week for Harmony at Home, and I promise you a musical journey that you will never forget. Every week, our lesson will start with a game. Today's game is one of my favorites, and I call it the echo, because you will need to repeat a short rhythm that I make just like an echo. For example, if I clap 4 times, you will need to clap 4 times as well. Pay attention. Your rhythm should be exactly the same, not faster, not slower, but identical. Let's try the first rhythm. Very good. Let's try another one. Great. Now we can start our game. I'm not going to stop between the rhythms, so be ready for the next one once you finish clapping the one I just did. Ready? Let's start. Did you do it correctly? I bet you did it very well. Next lesson, we will continue with this game. But since you're so good at it already, I will be able to do harder rhythms. Our lesson today is all about rhythm. And the guests you're going to meet are rhythm experts. They're going to help us understand what rhythm is. Before I introduce them to you, let's do some exercises to get ready to meet them. I want to start with a song you all know, the Happy Birthday song. Can you sing it with me once, please? I will give you the first note and we will all start together. If it's someone's birthday today, you can say his name. And if not, you can just sing Happy Birthday, dear someone. I need you to try and move your body while singing, but I need you to do it as you feel it. I need you to move your upper body back and forth from one side to another while singing. Let's try it. This is the first note. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear someone. Happy birthday to you. Did you feel this movement? Did it stop or was it consistent during the whole song? It didn't stop, right? The only moment when we felt we could stop this movement was after the big jump. Happy birthday, dear someone. But even at that moment, it didn't really stop. Let's try to do this part and let's try to work this jump. La la la. Can you do it with me? La la la. This jump has a name in the musical language. We call this an octave. Let's do it one more time with a slide going up. La. One more time. La. Good. So now let's sing again this part and continue moving your upper body as you did even if we're singing a long note. Happy birthday, dear someone. Happy birthday to you. This movement is what we call in music the beat. What is this beat? Exactly like your heartbeat that never stops. In music, we have a steady pulse that we can feel when we sing a song or when we listen to a tune, like a clock stick. Let's stand up and walk this beat, the same one you were doing while sitting on the chair and moving from one side to the other. Don't forget, continue the beat, even if it's a long note. Don't forget to walk the beat with your feet. Ready? This is the note. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear someone. Happy birthday to you. Could the beat be slower or faster? Let's try. Let's sing the beginning of the song with a slower beat. Let's do it. Start singing. Your feet will find the beat as soon as we start. Trust me. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Very good. Could it be faster? Let's try. Ready? Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear someone, happy birthday to you. What was I changing? The beat was once slower and once faster. We were changing the tempo. Tempo is the word, it's an Italian word that we use to talk about the speed of the beat. Now let's sit down and talk about rhythm. Take the happy birthday song and only say the words out loud without singing. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear someone. Happy birthday to you. Very good. Could we say it in our heads and clap it? Let's do it. What did we just do? We just clapped the rhythm, which was the same as the words. Actually, the words give us the rhythm. Could you feel the beat? It was there. And what about the tempo? The tempo was moderate. It wasn't too fast or too slow, and we were clapping the rhythm. I think you're ready for our last exercise before we meet our guests. We're going to walk the beat and clap the rhythm. Don't forget to continue and walk the beat even if we have a long note. Let's do it. Are you all standing up, ready to walk the beat and clap the rhythm? I will give you the tempo by saying 1, 2, and we will all start together. Don't forget to say the words in your head. It will help you to clap the rhythm correctly. Ready? 1, 2. Did you do it correctly? I'm sure you did. Now let's sit down and get ready for our guests. Today we will get to know an amazing group of musicians. Their name is So Percussion, and they all play percussion instruments. Percussion instruments are musical instruments that are played by hitting, shaking, or scraping. This group of 4 musicians will share with us a very special piece of music written 80 years ago by an American composer named John Cage. The name of the piece you are going to hear is Living Room Music. There are 4 parts in this piece, a bit like 4 chapters in a book. And today, So Percussion will play for you the second part, or as we call it in music, the second movement. As we listen to the beginning of this movement, performed by our guests, I would like you to listen carefully to them and to try to figure out which instruments they are playing. I'm sure you will be able to figure this out.
Once upon a time, a once upon a time, a once upon a time, a time, a once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a once upon a time, a time, once upon a time, upon a time, upon a time, a time upon a time, upon a time upon a world, once, world, once, world, once, world, once, world, once, once upon a time, upon a time, a time upon a time, a time, a once upon a time,
the world was round.
Then you, and it, and you could go on it. You could go, and you could go on it, and you could go on it, you could go and you.
So, were they playing any instruments? Not really. They were using their voices. John Cage, the composer that wrote the piece you just listened to, took some words from a poem and put them in rhythm. You already know that when you have words in a song, they will give you the rhythm for the music, exactly as we saw in the beginning of our lesson today with the Happy Birthday song. Let's meet the members of So Percussion and learn how to make some music at home. Jason will start, and you will get to meet the other ones later on.
Hi, I'm Jason Truding from So Percussion, and I'm one of the 4 members here of our quartet that will be talking to you today a bit more about rhythm and about what we do. We are a quartet of 4 percussionists who are based in Brooklyn, New York. We've been playing together for 20 years, over 20 years now, and we love doing what we do, and that is play music on all different kinds of percussion instruments. That can include drums, marimbas, vibraphones, steel drums, and then a lot of what we do is play on things you wouldn't necessarily think of as a percussion instrument. These can be called found sounds, so sounds that we find all around us. So today I am in my living room because the piece we would like to talk to you about is John Cage's Living Room Music. And this piece was written about 80 years ago, and the idea was that you would sit in your living room, or you would recreate your living room on a stage, and play only sounds that you could find around you. So for me, that includes an old newspaper I have here. I have some books and some pencils. I have my water from this morning and my cup of coffee. I also have some markers that my kids were using to make some drawings. Let's see, I have a remote control for my TV. And I also have my voice. And so in this piece of music, John Cage asks you to play on things you find around you, and he also wrote one movement just for your voice.
I think this is a good moment for you to look around you and find some things you can use for making music, or what we call found sounds. Maybe you're sitting in your living room, maybe in the kitchen, or maybe in your room. Go ahead and look around you. Can you find something that might make an interesting sound? Pause the video and go look for 2 or 3 objects that you could use as a percussion instrument. I will do the same thing and we will meet in a few seconds. Go ahead, we will be waiting for you.
In the lesson today, you've already heard some words like rhythm, tempo, pulse or beat. And I want to use the words that you heard, once upon a time, the way Adam starts off the piece, to talk about these 3 different ideas. So, once upon a time, a once upon a time. That's the rhythm, the once upon a time. So I could just play that on this book here. Once upon a time, a once upon a time.
Let's try to say the words with the right rhythm. Let's do it once slowly. Once upon a time, a once upon a time. Do it with me. I will say 1, 2, so we all have the same tempo and we will all start together. Ready? 1, 2. Once upon a time, a once upon a time. Let's do it faster. 1, 2. Once upon a time, a once upon a time. Now let's try to play the rhythm on one of the objects we found at home. I will play it on this bowl. Don't forget, while hitting, shaking, or scraping the rhythm on your instrument, keep saying the words in your head. That way, your rhythm will be very clear. Ready? 1, 2. Let's do it faster. 1, 2.
That's the rhythm that makes up the piece, right? But the way that you would kind of maybe move your body to that beat, maybe if there was a drummer playing, what the beat would be, that's the steady grouping of notes. The beat would be something like this. Once upon a time, oh, once upon a time. So that steady beat or pulse is what we mean by the word pulse, is that steady beat. And so we have rhythm, pulse, and beat, and then we have tempo. So let's use that same part that Adam started with to talk about tempo. So if you can imagine, this is the beat. Let's think about this as this is the speed that you're walking. So let's slow down how your feet are moving when you're walking down the street. And this would be the tempo. So let's say this would be a slow tempo to do living room music. Once upon a time, oh, once upon a time. And let's say we move back up to kind of like, maybe we're fast walking or jogging down the street. Maybe this would be this beat. Once upon a time, oh, once upon a time. And then we could really be running down the street where our feet's moving really fast. Once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time. That would be the fast beat, right? So the way we use these words is the tempo is the speed, right? The slow speed or the fast speed. And pulse or beat is the steadiness of how the music's happening. And rhythm is the way that these words sound within the beat. So that's how Once Upon a Time from Living Room Music exemplifies those ideas. And I want to add one more vocabulary word to our day today, which is going to be timbre. So I like to think of timbre in terms of what the sounds on my living room table sound like, right? Timbre is the way we would describe the way they sound. And this could be one easy way to talk about timbre. It could be high timbres or low timbres. They could be bright timbres or dark timbres, right? So let's see what I have here. My coffee cup, I would say that feels high and maybe bright. What's something here? So the book against the book could be the lower, more mellow, darker sound. So the way we describe timbre is kind of, we can use some fun words. So let's see what the water glass. So the water glass, maybe it sounds bright and it's a glass, so sometimes people would say glassy. But it's not quite as high as this one, right? So the reason I'm mentioning timbre is that we're going to take these words that we've been saying in living room music and figure out how to play them on some of the sounds we have around us.
Let's take a look at what you have on your table. Let's try to find out how your instruments sound like. Take the first object you have chosen and play with it. Go ahead, do it right now. Does it sound high, low, bright, dark? What about the second one? Try to compare it to the first one. How does it sound? Which one is higher? Which one is lower? Which one is brighter? Which one is darker? Let's listen to Adam, another member of the group, talking about his part in the piece.
I actually get to be the person who says, once upon a time, which is the thing we're used to hearing at the beginning of any old tale or nursery rhyme, or even I think in some of the Disney movies you've heard that phrase, once upon a time.
And what John Cage did in this piece is he took some of these words and he thought about what rhythm they sounded like when you just say them normally. So when I say once upon a time, John Cage thought that that rhythm would become da 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 da. And you wouldn't say once upon a time. You wouldn't talk like that normally. So you just take the normal way that you say it and you try to figure out what rhythm it is. And that could be really fun for you to do with all kinds of things that you hear. The other big one he does that you probably heard me say was round and around and around. So what he does with this one is he puts it into groups of three, round and around and around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Round and around and around.
Can we try to say it as Adam just did? Round and around and around. Let's do it together. I will say 1, 2, and we will all start together. 1, 2. Round and around and around. One more time. 1, 2. Round and around and around. Now, let's play the rhythm on one of our found instruments. Don't forget to say the words in your head. Ready? 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2. Good. Do you remember the first rhythm? Once upon a time, and once upon a time. Let's play it on another instrument. Ready? 1, 2. Good. Now let's listen to Eric, the third member of the group, talking about his part in the piece.
I'm one of the other members of So Percussion, and I'm here in my living room. And I wanted to talk to you about one of the things in my part that's really cool. You might hear that one of the words I say often in my part is once. And one of the cool things about that is the word once has one, s, once, once. To me, it ends up sounding like one is sort of like boom, like a kick drum sound, boom. And the tss, one, tss, sounds like a little bit like a hi-hat or a snare. So it's a low, high, low, high. It's one of the things that has the most rhythm for the pulse and the beat in the piece. So when I hear once, 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 to me, I feel like I'm kind of playing the drum set in the piece. So there's lots of different ways that you could play sounds like that in your living room. So I got a few different things here. I've got a pillow and some goobers. And you can hear that's a nice low sound. And the goobers, it's a nice high sound. So once, 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 once. There's one example. Now, if you're okay with some quieter sounds, I've got a box of tissues here and a pair of scissors. So the box of tissues, we can hear it's quiet, but it's low. And the scissors, so once, once. And then, if we get even smaller, here I've got a box of crayons. Let me see. I've got a low sound there, and I've got a rubber band around it here. So, once, once, once. Oh, need to work on my rhythm. One more time. Once, 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 once. There's all kinds of ways that you can make this sound.
Let's look at your instruments. You already figured out which sound on your table is higher and which one is lower. And we already know, thanks to Eric, that the word once is divided into 2 syllables in his part. One, s. Now it's your turn to play Eric's part on your instruments, hitting, shaking, or scraping the first syllable on one instrument and changing instruments for the second syllable. Let's do it together. Don't forget to wait for my signal to start. 1, 2. Let's do it again. 1, 2. Perfect. Now let's meet Josh, the 4th member of the group, to see what he has on his table that he could use to play his part.
My part consists of 3 sounds. I say the word time. And so for that, I thought I would substitute in this water bottle and I would hit it. And I go time.
For the word time, we will need a sound that lasts longer, right? Take a look around you and try to find an object whose sound lasts longer than hitting the table or a pillow, for example. I will give you a hint. If it's made out of metal or glass, the sound will last longer. Careful, if it's made out of glass, it could break. I will use this small plate made out of metal. So when I say time, the sound lasts longer. Go ahead and find the right object for this sound. We will be waiting for you. Are you ready? Now let's try together. You will need to stop your sound when you say So it's time. Do it with me. Ready? 1, 2. Time. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2. Time. Good. Now let's see what else Josh needs to play in his part.
My second sound is a whistle, and I go, which you probably heard in the recording, and what I found in my house was this old guitar tuner. So I'll blow into that for my whistle sound. And then for my last sound, I make sort of a buzzing bee sound, a zzz or s sound. So I thought I would find something that rattled, and so I put popcorn kernels inside of a milkshake cup that my wife gave me. You can find an old coffee cup or paper cups and put paper clips in them or dirt or anything that you might find that would rattle or shake like this. And those are going to be my 3 sounds. All right, over to Jason.
To end our session today, we thought we would try a new experiment with this piece of music to show you how we can take these words and rhythms and turn them into sounds in our living room. And kind of, this could be something you guys can try at home, taking some sounds of words, speech rhythm, and making music out of it. So we would love to play a version of Story for you that starts by the 4 of us in So Percussion speaking our parts, but also playing them on sounds we find in our living room. And then, midway through the piece, we're going to stop speaking at all and just play what the words sound like. And we thought it would be fun to invite some of our friends to join with us here. It's going to be an instrumental version of living room music played from our 9 different living rooms.
I'm sure you will enjoy their performance. While listening to So Percussion and their friends, you can try to recognize the rhythms we have been working on today. You can also choose a part you feel like playing and play it with them. Don't forget, the most important thing is to stay in tempo and feel the beat. Let's do it.
Once upon a time, a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a time, a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a time, once upon a time, upon a time, upon a time, a time upon a time, upon a time upon a world, 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 time, a time, a time, upon a time upon a time, a time, a once upon a time, the world was round.
That was great. I had so much fun. I hope you had fun at home too. We learned today many new things. All of them were related to rhythm. To end this lesson, I would like to show you how rhythm is written in the language of music. It's not enough to say a long note, like I did when we were singing Happy Birthday, for example. We need to be more precise, because my long note could be longer or shorter than yours. So for that we can use this note. This is a whole note. It is 4 beats long. Ta. Of course, it can be longer. Ta. Or shorter. Ta. It all depends on the tempo. It all depends on whether my beat is a slow one or a fast one. So a whole note gets 4 beats. What about this one? Do you see the difference between those two? The whole note is a round. It has only the head, as we call it in music. The other one has a leg that we call a stem. We already know that the whole note is 4 beats long. This one, the half note, is shorter. It is 2 beats long. Ta. Here again, it can be longer. Ta. Or shorter. Ta. It all depends on my tempo. It all depends on my beat. Let's take a look at some exercises you can do this week to improve the new skills you learned today. Now that you know what tempo is, what beat is, what rhythm is, and how to play with found sounds, I would like you to try 2 exercises at home this week. The first one is to find a simple song that you like and sing it while walking the beat. Then you can clap it while walking the beat, and you can even change the tempo. It's up to you. The second exercise is to try and find some new found sounds and create your own rhythms. Look around the house. The kitchen would be a great place to start, and have fun with it. That's it for today's lesson with Harmony at Home. I will see you next week for a new lesson, and next week we're going to travel to another country. I look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, make it a musical week.